Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat. So let's play that. Today we're taking a look at Darius. Now, this may be the famous fish shoot-'em-up game, but the subtitle is Silver Hawk. So let's see what that's all about. Check out that super scaling. Check out that super scaling. We are surpassing Super Nintendo levels of scaling. Super Nintendo was mode 7. This is like mode 8 and a half. Alright, not enough things are exploding. It really is the fish game. Alright, so we are playing Darius. A button is this. B button is... Ooh, that's pretty nice. B button is unused. And who cares about letters higher than that? Oh, all right, let's use a trick, a time-honored trick. All right, let's see, auto fire on, and now we have auto fire. Ooh, that's satisfying. All right, so this is Darius, Darius. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was pretty sure I was gonna say something. But alright, so we've got auto fire turned on, which honestly I relearned about. It's been a few years. And so now we are just blazing right through everything. Well, that was kind of cheap. Ooh, wow. So this is like normal people fire. This is auto fire. Like, this game just straight up does not care. A lot of games, they kind of cut you off with auto fires. They're like, okay, pal, we're going to let you have more fun, but not that much more fun. But Darius is just like, nah, man, as fast as we can put him on screen, you're going to be able to shoot him out. And my, oh my, are we shooting it out. Are you hearing that haunting music? It actually kind of reminds me of the Pokemon Game Boy games when you're like exploring a Mount Moon, the cavern. Kind of like a slow, nice happy dirge. Oh, and warning, a huge battleship approaches. Yeah, not enough shoot-'em-ups have like this... Well, that was scary. Not enough shoot-'em-ups have like this nice little like battle warning screen, like boss battle warning screen that like builds up tension and hype for like the impending battle. Wait a minute. When I played Darius, is that the same as Darius Gaiden? Does the G stand for Gaiden? Did I play this game before? I'm getting like vestigial memories of this, which is interesting because that fish has a vestigial spine and arms. Well, either way, I mean, it's good the second time, right? And I guess it doesn't count if they like lied on the title. Ooh, branching paths. Oh my gosh. This game is like Outrun, and there were so many zones. I am just flashing back right now. I'm pretty sure I said almost those exact same words. I probably chose this exact same path, but honestly, if your choices were between a pretty sweet ocean and, I don't know, an indistinct hellscape that the other one was, I would probably choose the ocean too. Now, I don't know, maybe indistinct hellscape is probably a better setting for a shoot-'em-up, because I mean, if you think about it, you wouldn't want to... One disadvantage of auto-fire, you don't want to auto-fire through the continue screen. Oh, that's right, this game is a continue screen. Pressure's off, guys. I can play as poorly as I want. Or can. Oh my god, is that an opera going in the background? Oh man, this game is just so pleasing. You've got like nice underwater ocean graphics. You've got an opera in the background. Hey, who says video games can't be cultured? We've got one video game that says otherwise. For other counterexamples? We only need one where we're from. Just kind of everything's exploding on the screen. I'm dying all the time, but it doesn't matter. This is a form of shoot-'em-up bliss. Now, this isn't the shoot-'em-up bliss that appeals to like your pride sort of part of you, where you're like, oh man, I beat that boss with like 1 credit clear. I'm the master. or any of that sort of pride stuff. This is one that's just like, well, I was gonna say it appeals to the visceral, explosion, happy side of humanity, but honestly, this also appeals to like maybe a surreal aspect of humanity. Like, I mean, each time we go to a boss, it's like some sort of bizarre... Oh, that's the boss. I thought those were power-ups. It appeals to like some sort of bizarre, like, dreamscape or something. Like, it's almost like these enemies aren't even really real. They're just like things we imagined, and we're having like a particularly bad trip. After eating fish tacos, of course. And... huh. That's kind of interesting. His mouth is not really a weak point, I think, but it still gives you the little explosion, so it makes you feel like you're doing something. But I guess the fin is the way to go, I think. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. We're just here for the explosions and fun. Actually, well, I mean, so we just went through like an underwater world. There was like calming aquatic music. It almost reminds me of the one level from Star Fox 64. I don't even have to specify, although I will. It's Aquas. Although, well, we're not fighting some sort of crazy clam monster, but I mean, next best thing, right? It's like a giant fish monster. Actually, now that I think about it, in Aquas, there aren't that many fish that you fight against. I guess, yeah, they left all the fish for the arcades. Can you imagine, like, if some other game had like a fish theme? Now, would the people who make Darius, would they be like disappointed? They're like, oh man, you're ripping us off, this is terrible. Or would they be amused? They're like, I didn't think anybody else would do a fish theme. This is awesome, let's all do fish themes together. I don't know anything about the developers of this game, but I'd like to imagine they would be like super cool with it. And then it'd be like, hey man, you want to do a collaboration? And they're just like, what the heck? The people who made Darius are talking to us? They're acknowledging our existence? Heck yes, we want to do a collaboration. And then they make the ultimate shoot-'em-up collaboration. I would probably play that. And so long as it had a continue function and didn't take more than 40 minutes to beat, I think I'd probably beat it too. Sounds like a fun shoot-'em-up game. This stage's music is a little more peppy. I'll be quiet. Honestly, strangely silent today, so I'll let you guys hear some music. Fish and operas. What a strange combination. Of course, how much you want to bet the operas that they're singing about are about fish? Personally, I would not actually bet that much money, because what is fish in Latin? Like Pisces or something? I don't think you can make a song about that. Not because like fish are inherently undeserving of songs. Oh, that was a pretty fast stage actually. That just makes me think this will be a huge boss, but its name is Folding Fan, so how dangerous can it be? Famous last words. It's another fish. They're all the same fish. It's the same fish over and over. But anyway, Pisces, it's like, that's not really a good song lyric, you know? Ooh, that's tricky. Not really, because it comes at you so slow that you can like dodge it in your sleep. But that's tricky still. But like, yeah, Pisces would be like a pretty hard lyric to put into a song or operato or whatever it is those music folks call them. Jeez. I thought I could get through this boss with no deaths. Well, that's kind of strange. So, usually when you die, you pure skill, man. Pure skill. It's all skill. Usually when you die, you, like, lose essentially all of your power-ups. But this game is kind of weird in that I died, and I think I only lost, like, one stage of each power-up each. Now, granted... Oh, man, I forgot about those bombs. That's right. That's what I was going to say. I'll save it for later, though. I was just trying to see if there's, like, a change weapons button, but I don't think there is. And so it seems like it saves most of your strength, or at least some percentage of it. Whereas like most other games are just like, you've died once, you've shamed your ancestors, prepare for weakness. And it's like, come on guys, I'm trying to one credit clear, not one life clear. Cut me a break, I'm only human, I'm gonna make a mistake. Speaking of making mistakes and getting away with it, that bomb was like really cool. So I'll do another one. Completely gratuitous. But like, a lot of shoot 'em up games, like their bomb is just like some sort of weird explosive, But in this game, the bomb is like you summon a little black hole and it just sucks everything in. That is like legit pretty cool. Oh, it looks like we're abandoning the aquatic theme, which is kind of disappointing because, I mean, it's a game full of fish. You'd expect there to be a few more water levels. So like I was saying, this game is 90% water levels. Water levels as far as you can see. It's almost a few too many water levels. I mean, the game's about fish. We kind of get it already. But, it's kind of funny, those, like, side-mounted turret things. Like, a lot of, well, okay. It's pretty much something you can only do in horizontal shoot-em-ups. And so, but not many shoot-em-ups seem to do them, except for, Gradius. Well, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, there aren't a lot of horizontal shoot-em-ups, actually, huh? Now, personally, I kind of like the vertical shoot-em-ups, although I don't know, because they require the specialized screens, so it's like, they're more fun in the arcades, because, I don't know, going up, down, that just feels more intuitive somehow. But, like, sideways, it's like, that's better at home. I can make a bigger screen, so it's like, I wonder which one's better. Oh yeah, Cave. Poor old Cave, they gotta make their shoot-em-ups, and, like, they made them real good for the arcade, but they're all vertical. But people don't have vertical screens. Although for one brief, glorious time in the past, I set up a monitor, but I set it up like vertical, Tate style. Oh man, it was the most useless thing outside of playing cave shoot-em-ups. But in terms of playing cave shoot-em-ups, it was the top. Tops of the pops of the charts. That was pretty glorious. Well, actually, vertical screens are also good for reading PDFs. So if you work in an office and you like to play Tate shoot-em-ups on the sly during your lunch break or something, that's a pretty good excuse that you can use to tell your coworkers. It's like, no man, I'm not playing Tate shoot-em-ups. Why would you accuse me of that? I'm reading a bunch of PDFs, keeping on top of the technical knowledge, as it were. In fact, if you use those exact words, you will maximize your credibility. Oh my gosh, it's another fish boss growing before our very eyes. They grow up so fast. Now, I want to say that level was longer than the last one, but I'm going to be honest, these levels are actually kind of indistinct. I mean, this background looks like a complete drug trip. Basically, it looks like ripped out of Earthbound. Although, wow, G Darius versus Earthbound. Which one came first? The comparison you never thought would happen. You never thought you wanted, but now you actually kind of wanted a little. Not a lot, but a little. Man, whoever decided to give you, like, back shots, it's like, they were, I won't say a genius, because it seems like a flaw that you can really take advantage of, but they were a pretty cool guy. I think I like him. Because what you can do is you can just maneuver your way behind the boss, and you're just like, haha, take it. Unfortunately, the boss doesn't seem to be taking any damage. I guess the mouth is the weak point. But of course, those stupid, like, clover expander things coming out of its mouth, it's like, well, it's gonna be the most dangerous place. So, well, yeah, I guess if I've ever complained about Raiden design, which, I mean, I know I have, but I haven't, like, complained about it sufficiently. Like, so the thing I really dislike about Raiden is, like, you just kind of toss in a bunch of quarters, and, like, you have no hope of, like, one credit clearing the game, but, like, I mean, you can still keep on tossing the quarters and, like, getting away with it. Oh, is this a final boss or something? Transformations. We have clearly not deserved this level of boss. And so, like, essentially you're not even, like, incentivized to just blindly toss in quarters. You were, like, outright required to because of, like, cheap boss designs and all that. It's not quite like, oh man, what was that game? Lightning Fighters. Lightning Forces? No, Lightning Fighters by Konami, which, even though it's inspired by Raiden, it's the same DNA, like, there are checkpoints, and so essentially you can only make it to the next checkpoint if you're, like, good enough at shoot-em-upping, and if you can, like, navigate your way through the thing. Now, a little ashamed to say that I was not quite good enough at shoot-em-upping, but I still gave it a go, and if you saw that video, I gave it a lot of goes. If you saw that video to the end, which actually cuts out early because I didn't have enough recording space after, let's say 40 minutes of recording. My recorder just gave out. Oh, let's double check. Are we still recording? Well, you're watching it here, so obviously yes. But unfortunately, I can't watch the YouTube stream to see if I'm still recording. But anyway, I kept playing that game so long, and like, I just got into it. I sort of lost myself in the game, and that, oh man, that was a sublime experience. And that is the other kind of shoot 'em up. Like, you've got the Wherein kind of toss credits, like they're going out of style shoot 'em up, and then you got the other shoot 'em up that, like, you feel if you're not playing for a 1 credit clear, you're almost doing the game a disservice. I feel like Metal Slug, the world's greatest shoot 'em up, of course, kind of strikes a happy medium between the two. Like, if you want to play Metal Slug to 1 credit clear it, it's like you can. And that game, like, totally allows for it, and it'll totally kick your ass until you're good enough to do it. But if you just want to, like, toss in a bunch of credits, it's like you can. But, like, it never gives things to you. Unless you're a cheapo and you use the bombs. In which case, well, I guess you could cheese your way through the bosses. But, like, it constantly offers you with little spots of danger. Like the rocket launcher guys, they shoot at oblique angles, and so they are like a constant threat you have to deal with. And yeah, now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, you can use like grenade spamming to take care of the bosses. But like, as far as the everyday popcorn enemies, it's like grenades won't always help you there. Because there's a lot of like tricky movement options. Like you've got like the sniper guys, the guys with shields. A lot of it just kind of like mixes up the stuff you have to deal with. Hold on, let's listen to music for a second. Ah, never mind, now it's the warning theme. But isn't me, or did that briefly sound like Trick Track from Phantasy Star Online? That's not something I expected to hear today, but not something I regret either. Ooh, okay, so this boss seems to have two very big What the heck? So it feels like my missiles that are like curving out in those big sweeping arcs are doing a lot of damage to it. But like, if I go behind the boss and like try to hit him with my back missiles, then like I do absolutely nothing. So maybe the Darius guys were like, oh man, these guys who are playing our game are pretty smart. If they try to get behind us, then they can damage us. And the other guy's like, hey, let's just make it so if they go behind you, they can't damage you. And it's like, that's pretty smart, guy. That's pretty smart. And well, they did it, and well, I can't actually make it through. Okay, random non-contextual nostalgia reference. Remember the Hot Wheels that came bundled with like floppy disks that had like games on them? For some reason I just flashed back to the hovercraft one of that. Well, I know what I'm doing as soon as I finish this game. Yeah, just a boss. It's weird because like the pattern is almost difficult enough that I like feel engaged, but there's like just enough bullshit that I can't really give my heart to it. But like, you see these wave things, it's like, that's fair. That's almost fair. Well, okay, those are fair. But like, the combining that with like the laser beams and all that, it's like, well, that's not really fair. Ooh, so we have Mars, and we have, okay, and we have Abandoned Hellscape number 2. Okay, that's a pretty sweet effect. We're like entering the atmosphere, so we're like making a heat trail or whatever. Ooh, listen to this dirge. Wow. Now, if I was playing an arcade game with that in the background, I would like start questioning my life a little bit. I'm like, wow, this transitory life, it's like you only live for like, I don't know, 60 some odd years, and then you get to be 70, and it's like then your body starts breaking down. That's pretty bad. And it's like, what am I doing with my life? Should I really be spending it playing this arcade game? And then you die and you're like, okay, let's put in a few more credits, see what the end boss looks like. But for that brief second, that brief memento mori, you kind of wonder, what is it all about, man? What is it all about? And then you try to look up online who the singer is, because, well, that's right, we live in the age of YouTube music. So now, any music you want, does this count as a boss? I guess not. He almost seemed like a boss. He almost seemed like he could do enough damage as a boss, but no, he just kind of faded out. Of course, that means there's gonna be another one. Oh, these popcorn enemies. But then you've got like the sub-bosses, and it's like they're essentially just distractions, really. They're not like easy enough to destroy with a second thought, so it's not satisfying to beat them, but they're not hard enough to be like a real boss to necessitate actual effort and/or skill. Ooh, crusty hammer. Let me guess what it looks like. A fish. Well, I'm tempted to say that it's a shrimp, but I know better, and it's really just a weird-looking fish. Oh yeah. So we live in the age of YouTube music, so we can just look up who that opera singer chick was. And frankly, I'm kind of interested. I wonder if she's done anything. Well, because I mean, this is like 90s Japan, right? So I mean, obviously she's gonna be like just some random like pop singer who like can also do a little opera on the slide. So they decided to feature her. Wow, this pattern, it's so deceptive. It makes you think the best way is to like go in the middle of it, but no, you can actually just fly around and dodge it all. So okay, I'm willing to admit that this might in fact not be a fish, it may in fact be a shrimp. That's like kind of the same thing. I'll hedge my admission, but it's different enough that I guess that's what we'll go with. It's a shrimp. Oh, is it dead? Wow. I gotta say, despite this game going down smoother than smooth jazz, it is like so missable, so forgettable. Like I'm gonna go on next day of my life and like I'm gonna be like, oh, did I play this game? No, well, okay. I'll go on next day of my life and I'll just never remember this game ever again. And I'll keep on loading up those random MAME games and I'll pull up a new one and I'll be like, wait, have I played this one before? I can't remember. And you know what? It won't have mattered because this is like the ultimate forgetting game. It's like, you know, Men in Black have like the memory erasers. It's like this game. It's like at the end you beat it and you get like memory erased and they're like, now you get to experience the wonder of Darius Gaiden all over again. And you're like, yay, I think? Was that game any good? They're like, haven't you always wanted to experience a great work of art again for the first time? And you're like, but is it good? They're like, so many paths to choose, so much content, so many explosions, so many power-ups, and you're like, but was it any good? Well, that's interesting. Each zone has a letter indicator. So I wonder if there are more than 26 zones, what they would start naming them. Now, do you think they're kind of like letter number kind of guys, or do you think they're like letter kind of guys? I feel like letter is just one of those things that's like, it's a little weird, it's a little corporate, it's a little like dispassionate, you know? It's like, do you even really care about life? Now, letter number is like a time-honored tradition, and like that's how you number prototypes and all that. So it's like, okay, I can see a precedent for that. But letter, it's like, what are you, Excel or something? That's just too soulless, I'd say. So our level of shield, is that like how much it blocks or how many hits we can take? I'm just kidding, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Life is meaningless. So let's play more Darius. Why not? That was a very pretty rainbow though. It's kind of an inopportune time to decry the meaningless of life, inherent meaningless and ridiculousness of life. Ooh, now it's a sunfish. I love these floppy guys, because they're just so big. They're big, so big and doofy looking. Okay, for a second there I thought you could kill... Well, nice one, sunfish. I'm impressed. That was a very genius tactic of you. Almost smart, almost not cheap. Almost could have seen it coming. But anyway, sunfishes are so great. They're like big floppy fish. I'm pretty sure if you touched one, then it would like wiggle. I'm pretty sure you can't actually touch them because they're endangered. And that would probably be illegal, but well, I think I'll look that up. So many things to look up. So we got that pop singer. We got like our sunfish is legal to touch. Okay, Google, are sunfishes legal to touch? Sunfishes are legally protected by law, and/or why would you ask me such a non-contextual question? That's not what the Google lady voice sounds like. Actually, I don't know what the Google lady voice sounds like because I try to disable her as soon as I hear it. That's just so crazy. You're in like an abandoned quiet room, or you're like in your office building, you're like trying to sneak on the sly. It's like, okay, Google, when did G Darius come out? G Darius is... And it's like she just bursts out with the noise, and you're like, oh my god, I was in public, but whatever. I wonder if it could like check your location, and then it's like, oh, you're in public. Now, of course, having your phone like continually check your... Wow, this sunfish is a pretty long fight, and it's a pretty cheap fight with all those like missiles that just literally go everywhere. It's like, what the heck? Now, I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could like find like a little crack to like run through and hide, but like I have 100 quarters, maybe more. Like I have all day. It's like I can just make it through. Let's check the recording light. Okay, yeah, I still have all day. And so it's like, what's the point? Why even bother? Why try? You're still gonna get the fancy... Oh, this is the end boss, huh? This is the end boss. This is supposed to be an epic battle for the fight of the game. An epic battle. It's like, do you deserve the end credit scene? Are you rich enough, I mean skilled enough to make it to the very end? But no, it's just an eternal battle against the sunfish. Wow, they are just so many of these enemies. I just can't be bothered to care. Wow. This is not how you do it. I mean, you play something like Metal Slug and it's like the world is like literally on fire. Aliens are threatening the world. You team up with your worst enemy in like a final hurrah against the overwhelming enemy. And this game is just like, here's a sunfish. Beat up on it for a while, and then we'll give you a sweet ending screen. And then we'll tell you to watch all the other 16 endings, because we gotta get our money somehow. Like, you play a Kirby game, and it's like the final boss. Now, I hope I'm not giving spoilers, but I like to think of it as I'm giving incentives to play Kirby games. Because if you didn't know anything about Kirby games, you'd think they were nice, sweet, cute, harmless adventures. For the most part, they are. But when you get to the final boss, it's usually like some embodiment of madness. I mean, of course it's spherical. Everything in Kirby is spherical. But it's like this embodiment of madness and chaos who like inevitably fights you, and Kirby has to like dramatically change his form and become like a metaphorical angel in order to actually fight against this monstrosity. Sometimes it's called Marx, which invites comparisons to communism. I choose not to go that route. And the sunfish is over. I'm calling it now, final secret boss. Final zone is over. Where does it lead? Well, I can honestly say I did not expect this to happen. I didn't necessarily want it to happen, but I didn't expect it to happen. And now that it's happened, well, I can't take it back. So yeah, let all of you guys who say, oh, Ashgabat Cat, you never beat games. Except nobody ever says that, but, well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. Heck, in Nebulous Ray, I actually played till the end. Granted, playing more or less the same way I did here. The only catch is that was copyright blocked in the United States, so a lot of you guys won't get to see that. It'll be the forbidden Ashgabat Cat episode. Tunnel Bear, change your VPN to whatever. But, well, I mean, the game kind of ended as it played. Somewhat uneventfully, but not exactly unpleasantly. Just kind of some nice chill-out music as you contemplate on just how many quarters actually you spent. Well, let's kind of work it out. So, I assume I died an average of 4-ish times per zone. We got through about, we'll say 6 zones. So that's about, we'll say 20 some odd credits. So that's like $5. So for $5, you can have that Darius experience. Now, I don't know the timing, but I'd estimate it's been about 35 minutes, give or take a fast forward or two. So $5 for 35 minutes of gaming. Well, in our modern age of console gaming, that is what we in the business like to call a huge rip. But in the good old days of arcade gaming, no, that's a decent deal. It's not a great deal. I think one element of this game is like, it is cheap. Like, it doesn't give you a lot of chances to let your skill kind of like shine through and like give you a longer playtime. Well, I mean, maybe it does. Maybe I'm just not good at Darius, but somehow I doubt that. And so it's just gonna kind of rip you off. So it's like you're trying to play as much as you can in Darius. No, you're not gonna get your money's worth. Actually, though, you want to get your real money's worth. You play a fighting game. You put in 1 credit. You play until you die. You let the timer run out. Now this part is important. You let the timer run out, and then you put in another credit and you play again. So the reason that works is fighting games usually put you against like easy guys in the beginning, and so you beat all the easy guys, and then you get to the actually hard guy. Have I been entering names? I guess I haven't, but I don't know. Huh. But anyway, you fight against like the easy guys and you beat them, and then you get to the one sort of hard guy. And like if you beat him, well, even better. You get like another 3 minutes of play. If not, then you can fight the easy guys again. And I mean, oh, it can smell the credit. All right. Well, we have tricks for this. All right. Hello and welcome back to G Darius. And so the trick is you keep fighting like the weak enemies and you get a bunch of time. Now granted, this method is like ridiculously boring, but like it does save you a lot of money and it is very cheap. So all in all, that was Darius Gaiden. This is usually the part where I kind of sum up my experience and give something akin to a conclusion or a review, but frankly, I can't quite remember enough about this game. I mean, it kind of just flowed right by. It's like we filled up a glass of water and we just tipped it over and it's like splash, 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 water's coming out. It's not gonna stop. Oh, it's over. That was fun. Like, nothing happened, but at the same time, some cool-ish things happened. So it's not like a total wash. But like at the same time, if I had to ask myself, it's like, should I play this game again? The answer would not be like an immediate yes. It'd be like a, wait, what was that game again? Oh, now they're showing gameplay. I kind of wish the intro sequence was like 20 minutes long and like fully animated, because I mean, frankly, you'd make a lot more money that way than by showing the Darius gameplay, because like, they're just gonna, like you see this gameplay and it's like, well, okay, you know exactly how the game's gonna play. And I mean, yeah, you can argue that it's like, oh, well, maybe I played the wrong way. Maybe you should only put in credits and play for a 1 credit clear, but it, oh, cat. Huh, maybe I did actually play this game. Well, I guess it's not impossible for my old MAME scores to have transferred over. But then why would I spell it with a K? That's madness. But then, alright, so I've just spent like 5 minutes trying to think of what I was going to say. Like, I just lost my track of thought, and frankly, this game wasn't interesting enough to give me enough stuff to talk about, so I think I'll head out now. This cat's got a scat.